Hi, thanks for coming back to my Little Crafty Secret. For this Christmas in July project share process video, I'm sharing how I put together the calendar that I've been piecemealing, sharing with you throughout this month. I think you're going to enjoy this, and we're going to do a walkthrough. Before we actually put it together, we have to put on at least, I want to show you how I put on one of the calendar the month portion of the calendar together. And so what I did was I cut out a calendar. I went to the internet, found a free download, and I liked this style, and I decided to cut it out. I asked it to print forward to a sheet, and I cut it in quarters, the 8.5 by 11 paper, copy paper in quarters. And then this is the first one that I shared on the channel, how I made this. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this. When you do make this, I don't want to reveal what's underneath here, but when you do make this, you have to realize this is going to be the month that you flip over, and then behind this is going to be your image, and then there's the month, and then you flip it over, and then it's the image. So when you put this together, when you start gluing things down, you have to think about that. I did punch the holes here, and so I had to think, of course, how I'm going to put this together. So this is the last page, the last month, so I'm going to glue this onto this, the back of this sheet here, and glue this, or actually tape this down on the back of this sheet. Before I do this, I've noticed, I have mentioned this before on my channel, but I sometimes don't cinch this correctly. I don't punch the holes correctly. So I'm going to do this before I punch. I'm going to punch all these holes before I put anything down, especially before I put this down. Because once you put this down and you punch it incorrectly, I think you kind of get the drift. So to do that, I want to get my sheet. This is a 6 by 6. And so this is a hole. So I want to go to the A, and it says a hole and 1/2 inch. So I want to go to the A alignment guide. Just punch it in there, put it in there, and punch. Take it out, put it back. Go to the second hole to the last one, punch. And I put my finger here, and I make sure my finger is there. I punch it down, and I do that because, like I said before, I've thought it was right here, but it was like somewhere over here, and I've messed up my punches. So I just kind of make sure I shift it this way, just to make sure that it's actually in the hole and it's being held down. It does hold this down even when it's not in the hole. I punch, pull that up, and now it's good. Okay. So I'm going to just bring my sheets back here. Okay, so this is the counter image. So I am going to put this on first. So while I'm doing this, I wanted to share a couple of other tips doing this. I think, yeah, that was one tip, actually putting it together. The next tip is you don't really have to worry about the size of your calendars, of the calendar itself, and you'll see why. Well, you kind of saw how it was. Unless you really want it to have a full 6, or no, maybe 6 by 5 3/4 or something like that, then you might have to worry about it. But I think this looks good. You can also move this to the side and have like a little journal or note section here, or just make this white and put some lines so that people know that you can write on this. You can do this here too, push it all the way to the side, have some, maybe use a white pen to make the lines, but then the person you give it to, or even yourself, would have to always use that white pen. I just kind of think it's inconvenient having to use a white pen all the time. So now I'm going to put this on. Okay, I have some glue here. I refilled my bottle too. So now everything's coming out great. So you just want to make sure whatever page you put this on, you want to make sure this is the back. This is December. You want to make sure it's the back of the November calendar. You just got to check, because once it's down, you have to redo everything. And then just align it to the way you like it and press. Okay, so let's do a test. I think you guys can see it just fine. November, so the November image is right here. December right here, and that's the end of the book. I decided to choose this one, and I'm going to thread this on, and then it helps me better visualize where I need to cut. Then get my pliers. You just want to go to these notches here. These are cutting. It's a cutting area, and you want to cut right in the middle. Let's cut. There you go. And you want to go to the wider ends. And you can I'm just going to put it right here. Okay, so I want to get my last page. This is the first page. Okay, and I want to flip it over so that when I turn this over, this is the front page. Okay, so I want to flip this over, and you don't have to do this if you don't want to. If you do it this way, you hide the seam of this binding. So when it comes together, this seam right here that you'll be crimping down will be hidden. Okay, so now we're ready to cinch this down. So now I moved it to the back here, and this is looking so nice. Look at that. This is gonna look really nice. Just gonna cinch. You want to go slowly, a little bit at a time. No need to rush. Cinch it down. Let's see. Okay, that looks pretty good. Just gonna do the middle here. Let's see. All right. And there you go. So let's go ahead and decorate this front. Okay, so I got a 6x6 sheet of paper here. I'm gonna cut it down a little bit, maybe to 5.5 by 5.5, only because, you know, I have it 6x6 only because I want to cut it down, be able to cut it down. So I know I'm not gonna be able to reach all the edges. So I do want to start with some greens and blues. I think this will look nice. I have some shimmer sprays too. Let me show you what I have. I got Rustic Wilderness, Mowed Lawn, Salvage Patina, and then also Shiny Bauble. This is a mica stain. And then I'm going to use also my goat splatter, and I might bring in some white paint. I'm not sure yet. I may or may not. But I am going to use some grip paste. I just have a little bit left, so I actually want to use it up. And I'll be stenciling something over it. I don't know which stencil yet, but of course I'll figure that out when I get there. So just gonna spray this a little bit. Get some good coverage. I like this. Okay. Just want to add some texture to this. So I am going to just dab it. I want some texture to this. I know it will be kind of covered up with the grit paste, but it is translucent. Oh, that's pretty. I'm gonna go ahead and use my heat gun to speed up the process here. And once that's dry, I will be right back. Hi, just breaking in here. I thought I was recording when I wasn't, but I did get a stencil from Simon Says Stamp. I believe this is called Numbers, and I used grit paste to stencil the product through. And I like how it came out. I like especially that I put it at an angle rather than straight on like I normally would have. Okay, let's get back to the video. And so here's the final project. Look how beautiful this is. So nice. I really like it. So let's do a final flip through. So when you are going through this year, or the year next year, you can still use this as more than a calendar. You can make it an album. And to do that is you can either maybe put a picture here or maybe put a picture here. And you can keep this as a keepsake. This can be a monthly or a year album, just the highlights of the year. And I'm sure you would treasure this for many years after this, after 2024. Well, that's the end of my project share. I hope you loved this project share, and I hope you liked the journey of making this. If you are not a subscriber, please consider subscribing. If you like this video, please like this video. Thanks. Until next time.